This morning, I woke up to the news that Paul Nevin had left his role as part of the West Ham United coaching staff. It's another casualty for David Moyes' coaching team. Stuart Pearce and Alan Irvine have left within the space of 2 years, as has Billy McKinlay. Nevin's departure might be quite significant for West Ham, as he already has the credentials to be a great coach at another team. First and foremost, he was coaching the England national team and working with Gareth Southgate's setup. Secondly, he was part of a coaching staff that consistently helped West Ham to get into Europe. Now that he's gone, it's left another void. And even though players will obviously be coming in and out, I think the coaching staff is in need of a huge overhaul. These departures are quite concerning. And if you actually take a look at what Nevin was saying about David Moyes, there's even more reason to cast doubts over the Scot. A list was tweeted to explain the things that Nevin and other coaches had tried to explain to Moyes and West Ham's own ownership. Yet these claims seem to have fallen on deaf ears. And that's partly to quote what the whistleblowing quotes supposedly said. I'm just going to read them very quickly and then give my thoughts on them. Some of these are a bit worrying, if I'm brutally honest. Coaches and players are aligned in the dislike of Moyes and his methods. Moyes has taken Kevin Nolan and Paul Nevin off set pieces and claimed control of them himself. Dynamic amongst first team coaches is broken with ideas and instructions ignored by Moyes in game. Alan Irvine, who left his position as assistant coach and switched to a technical advisory role in May 2021, is regarded as the mastermind behind West Ham's initial success under Moyes. Senior staff and players have voiced concerns to the board but have fallen on deaf ears, the latter of which is something that I've just mentioned. The first point is something that I would like to talk about here. It seems that the players haven't really warmed to David Moyes' methods, and this may be why some of them aren't maximising their potential. Two players for that matter, who have really struggled under the David Moyes chopping and changing kind of thing, aside Benrahma and Pablo Fornals. And both could even leave West Ham this summer, according to a couple of reports. Jacob Steinberger was the one, I believe, that reported that. Some of the players are not suited to David Moyes' system. It's quite obvious to see. It's so rigid and so used to being stagnant for a long time that players can't flourish when they're asked to do their own kind of thing. This is why it's worrying. Moyes had developed a team that could play counter-attacking football and be strong off set pieces. Those things have been sussed out now by other teams. Moyes is now back in charge of set pieces, which isn't necessarily a good thing when he wasn't the one who was coaching them. Someone else in the coaching staff had to be in control of those in order for them to be as consistently successful as they were. I don't think it was Moyes. Dynamic amongst the first team coaches is broken. I can definitely see that. We have, I suppose, a divide in terms of the style of play. Alan Irvine was a huge part of that coaching staff, and he was a successful coach at West Ham. You remember when David Moyes got COVID? Irvine took over and got some good results. That helped to kickstart our 2020-21 campaign, the one in which West Ham recorded its highest Premier League points tally and Europa League football. Irvine was definitely a huge part of that team. He'd known Moyes even from their time at Everton. Him leaving was due to family reasons, but there may have been other reasons for that. I want to add as well, Mark Warburton leaving showed a difference in ideologies, and Warburton even admitted that in an interview after he resigned. However, the one silver lining to this is that Warburton leaving might actually be beneficial, because his style of play wasn't really suited to West Ham at all. Playing this possession-based game didn't gel. Warburton's actually more of a first-team manager than he is an assistant coach. I think he might look for a coaching opportunity elsewhere. The senior staff and players have voiced concerns. I actually do not doubt that. So why aren't the board acting on it? Well, if the board had acted on it, they probably would have sacked David Moyes. And then you're left thinking with, what might have happened there? Would West Ham really have been in a relegation battle in that sense? Trying to say these things and have them ignored are very frustrating parts. Nevin's probably grown frustrated with this. And now he's set to move to Strasbourg to be part of Patrick Vieira's coaching staff. Looks like Kevin Nolan is really the only one who's staying on now. Maybe we're going to look at other players. I hear Steve Round might be linked with a move to West Ham. We're going to need to really redevelop our coaching staff, and it shows no long-term strategy as well. You might think that it's just a coach, but it goes a bit deeper than this. When you look at all the players who've left, or the players who are rumoured to leave, and the coaches who want to go as well. Should you be worried? Yes. Because if the coaching staff aren't up to scratch, how can the players be quality?